Welcome to Modern Entrepreneur. Today we have Rachel Schnorr, Joseph Hogg, Christy Mims, Harlan Johnson, Kyle Elliott, Mr. Gar. Welcome to Modern Entrepreneur. I'm Landon Rain. Today we have Marcella DeVivo, who is a digital marketing analyst and speaker for SEMrush. She's an industry veteran with nearly 20 years of digital marketing experience. She travels the world speaking about SEO, data-driven marketing strategies, omni-channel optimization, and the evolution of digital. Working with SEMrush has allowed her to combine her passion and expertise in forward-thinking marketing, analytics, and disruptive technologies. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Yeah, so tell me about SEMrush and what you're doing there.
So I'm a digital marketing analyst and speaker at SEMrush. I started earlier this year, and it's a great role for me because I've been a marketer for 20 years, and I started using SEMrush when they first came out 10 years ago. And it's a fantastic ability to use all these tools to be able to improve digital marketing strategies from both PPC, organic, even social media.
So SEMrush is a piece of software that does keyword analysis and
competitive
tracking.
analysis, keyword analysis. It's becoming a tool set that has all sorts of tools available for different types of digital marketing, both paid, organic, and social.
So, you know, thinking about the sort of digital landscape today as it's evolved. You've watched the whole thing since basically the inception. If you've been doing this for 20
before Google.
Yeah, before Google, exactly. You got to agree that it's getting more complicated out there.
Absolutely.
And so if you could, normally I ask, you know, if you could think back to your, you know, give yourself some career advice. But 20 years ago, you know, people didn't have to deal with what they have to deal with today. So what would you give somebody starting out in digital marketing, somebody who was an entrepreneur, who knew they had to figure out how to get customers? They understood that the internet is where everybody goes to find what they're going to buy. What is the piece of advice you would give that will, you know, help smooth out the sort of learning process and get them over that hump so that they can actually do that profitably?
I think the biggest advice is to build your personal brand. I know when I started launching businesses. So I created multiple businesses with different partners, and then later I had clients, and my focus was always in building these brands and clients or businesses, but I didn't build my own brand enough. So looking back now, I see the mistake because it should have been done backwards. I should have built my brand first and foremost, and from there I could have stemmed out all the different initiatives, businesses, etc. So,
but what do you say when you're starting out? You don't have a business yet. You don't have a career that you can sort of you know, reference. Why would anybody care about your personal brand as a beginner?
Well, initially we all have something to offer. We all have something of value. So when you're starting out, you have your education, and you can start laying the foundation. So at that point, you start building out your own personal site. I didn't build my own personal site till maybe a year or two ago. After 20 years, I didn't need it. I was building brands and businesses. So you can build up your social media, and you don't have to tout yourself and your own skills in social media, but you can start building your audience and growing your own audience, not your businesses, but your own. And by the time you've got something truly unique to offer, whether it be 5 years, 10 years, however long it takes, you've already got the foundation of your own brand to jump off of. So I just think it's fundamental to put yourself first and foremost and start building the mysticism and the idea of who you are, find what's unique about you, and when the time comes, you're ready to grow quickly.
Yeah, interesting. So just have an audience, post to social media, begin to have followers, and just something that shows what you're talking about, your vacation pictures.
I would say no, whatever industry you're in, whatever you want to focus your career on, really delve deep and start getting into that niche and share and talk a lot, get to know people. The biggest example for me is a friend in digital marketing who started maybe 5 years ago, but her focus from the beginning was building her brand. And she started connecting, talking to people on Twitter. She just interrupted conversations, got to know people, showed up at events, really built her own brand, started speaking out of nowhere. And today she's one of the best known marketers in the world, even though her background she was a veterinarian. And she got into digital marketing from that, and she just pivoted her brand and now is one of the best known marketers. So we can all do that.
And do you think it's going to be harder or easier to build a sort of audience in 5 years from now?
I think it'll be a lot harder. So the sooner you start, the better.
Interesting.
It just gets more and more competitive and more difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like the sort of golden era is behind us, or do you think that the opportunity remains today?
Fortunately, the internet is too disruptive, and there's new technologies being released all the time. There's we're on the brink of a new era, I believe, with blockchain coming out. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities with new disruptive technologies for us to be known. So I do not believe that the golden era is behind us. I think we just have to always be on the lookout for the new disruptive technologies that are coming out that we can immediately participate in and build our brand around.
Yeah, and how do you think that the blockchain will relate to personal brands?
It's quite significantly, actually. There's the blockchain itself is simply a system, a distributed ledger. It's ideally removing trust. So when we think of Google and Facebook, for example, they're the medium, they're the third party. So we give money to them, and then they bring in the there's this triangular relationship. With blockchain, we as consumers can own our identity, and we can pay directly to the advertisers, eliminating the third parties. So it'll give us, and there's a lot of new tools and softwares and technologies that are being released on the blockchain that when they come out, they're going to give us an opportunity to become known. The same way that the Twitter influencers, for example, those people were the first to jump in, they built their audience quickly. When there comes a new blockchain social media channel, whoever's on it first, that's who's going to become an influencer.
Got it. In those channels.
In those channels,
yeah. Understood. So what do you feel like your unique skill set is?
Getting things done. Yeah, I've learned over 2 decades in a very, digital marketing is very busy. There's so much to do all the time. So for me, what I call my skills, my superpower is getting things done effectively and quickly. So I've learned to set goals for myself every day, and I'm very productive. So by the end of a day, I can do what it would take other people 3, 4, 5 days to do, just from singular focus and just very tight organization, I would say. But beyond that, in terms of in digital marketing, I come from an organic SEO background, so I have just tons and tons of knowledge on how to rank for Google and how to build the strategies, the analysis necessary to rank well quickly in Google. And so this is kind of a throwaway question, given that you're an SEO person, but I normally ask what is working to get customers in your business right now. Do you still feel, though, that search engine optimization is the best strategy? Is that the one you would invest in first if you were a new business? No.
Okay, what would you?
I've really switched things around. Instead of looking at the channels, so I don't look at SEO or Google Ads or Facebook, or I look at it from the point of view of buying stages and buying journey. So I look at it awareness, consideration, decision. So I look at what are the best channels at the awareness stage. So if you're a new business and you're launching, Google Organics takes time, and it really does take a lot of effort to mature content, links, authority. So I think a quicker channel is Facebook, is Facebook ads, particularly, not so much organic. There's just no more organic reach, but Facebook ads is a great way to immediately get an audience. Awareness, and then you take those visitors and you can cookie them, and you start remarketing to them. From them you build lookalike audiences. From there you start getting them into your email list, and you send them emails, and then you start nurturing them so that when they're ready to get to know your product, your service, then you're top of mind. So I think that organic really is more of a consideration channel.
It's more of a consideration channel.
And obviously decision, but it starts at consideration. Yeah,
and it's also challenging, right? It's certainly challenging for a new business to get anywhere with organic. And how do you compare, when you think about the differences between paid search on Google and paid sponsored ads or whatever on Facebook, how do you think about the difference between those two channels? Well,
they've become so similar. They kind of mirror each other. Google does now similar audiences as lookalike audiences, so they're very similar now. But I believe that Facebook can still be more inexpensive. But it is very much a top of the funnel channel, because people don't go on Facebook to say, what am I going to buy today?
That's right.
They're checking in on their friends, they're looking at videos, they're entertaining themselves. So you really have to disrupt them. And versus on Google Ads, they're looking for that. If they type in bathing suit, they're possibly going to buy.
Sure.
So it's further down the funnel. Unless you're doing Google Display, and that's of course similar to Facebook, which is also disruptive.
Yeah. So you would, your recommendation for most small businesses is to start where it's less expensive. You're not going to get burned so fast.
Yeah.
Because even Google paid ads are, it's expensive and dangerous.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that jives with my experience
Yeah.
also.
And there's ways on Google Ads where you can create very targeted campaigns. So we call these alpha campaigns, where you create single keyword ad groups, and you're really hyper-focused on a very specific small core set of keywords. So you can use that, or you can say, look, you set aside a budget to test, and you do what's called broad match modified. So you just like open it up and put a lot of budget into testing what keywords convert, and then you pause and you take the converting keywords and you put them in alpha ad groups. So there's ways of maximizing Google AdWords, especially as a way of testing what works and what doesn't work. So you can be a lot more strategic about your budget.
Yeah, very interesting. So what is the kind of cutting edge for you? Like, what are you learning about? What are you excited about?
Blockchain.
Blockchain's the thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you think that you're excited about that because you think there's going to be a new Facebook coming out of the blockchain, or is there something else about the blockchain that is exciting to you?
I think they're disrupting every industry, everyone.
What about the fact that they haven't disrupted any industries yet?
They've disrupted cryptocurrency. Well, not cryptocurrency, that's true. They're on the brink of disrupting most industries. Before Google came out, we had Alta Vista, we had the Yahoo directory, we had DMOZ, we had Excite, right? So we had 10, and they were all fighting for market share, and they all had a little bit of visibility, but none had a lot. And it was sort of the stage that we're at now. They're all kind of forming, but they're all, just in the formation stage. Then there's going to be, I believe, a stage where there's going to be all these companies or blockchain initiatives that are going to be vying for attention, and then of course you will have a few winners that will emerge. But it's early days. I think it's 1999 in blockchain right now.
Yeah, what do you predict the first sort of breakout use case will be for blockchain?
I think we're going to see that in, there's so many different initiatives.
Social ID, voting, currency, payments.
All of those are coming out. I think in payments.
Payments will be first?
Yeah, I think so, because there's already a lot of different platforms for it. And as with the growth of remote workers, the international workforce, I mean, my team is across 12 countries. We have people in Russia, we have people in Italy. I mean, literally, we're everywhere. So paying people is very difficult, and we're seeing more and more of that. So I think that the blockchain application of being able to remit payments across the world quickly and inexpensively will be the first. Yeah.
Well, that would be nice. That would be nice. So when you think back on your career, 10, 20 years from now, whatever it might be, what do you hope that your legacy will be? What would you like to be remembered for?
I think we're creating very diverse and multi-channel digital strategies. I think the ability to create strategies that transcend a specific channel or a specific brand is one thing I've been working on and pioneering for 2 decades. So we've done so many different campaigns that just across nations, across languages, across even not just channels, but also industries. So I think the ability to be versatile and just see that it doesn't start and end with Google. I've seen it before, but there's going to be a growth, and the more adaptable we are, the more we're going to be able to thrive. So I think my legacy is being able to perdure in an industry where many people have not lasted, and doing so by being very creative and versatile. Yeah,
awesome. And lastly, we call this thing Modern Entrepreneur, trying to get at what is unique about entrepreneurship in this moment. We've been at it, the both of us, for quite a long time now. What do you think it is that's unique about being an entrepreneur today, 2018, that may be different than 10 years ago or even 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think we can circle back around to what I was talking about, personal branding. Even though it is getting harder and more competitive, I still believe there are opportunities for entrepreneurs to distinguish themselves quickly using a lot of the different channels. I know with influencer marketing, for example, many of these influencers have not been at it for a decade or two. They've been at it for a year or two, and they've been able to build out incredible brands. So I think for those people that are perseverant and that are willing to put in the time and the effort and to differentiate themselves. It's not just doing the same old tried and trusted things, but just being willing to be creative and different. There still are opportunities. It is more competitive, it is more difficult, but there's gaps. So being able to analyze and find those gaps and filling them creatively is what I believe the biggest opportunity that we have right now. The blockchain cryptocurrency space has been that for the last year or two. It was a gap, and many people came in and filled it quickly, and fortunes have been made. Fortunes have been lost as well, but that would have been unthinkable prior to the internet and prior to the what we have now. So whoever has the capacity to recognize trends and jump on them creatively there's so many opportunities.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here. This has been great to talk to you.
Awesome,
I really appreciate it. Will you sign our wall?
Happy to.
Awesome.
Oh, cool.
Thanks.